Cool.
How about you? Are you live?
Here, yep.
Good deal. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First thing on our agenda tonight is the DASNY grant, which was a resolution to proceed with the DPW garage project. You have paperwork on that, which I do too.
Yep.
Pretty much what you're gonna have to do is give us permission, Dick and myself, to sign where is it? The guaranteed certification of the Walton Village construction for the Department of Public Works building. It's authorized on the bottom, so has everybody had a chance to take a look at that?
Yeah.
Okay, I need a motion for us to sign that.
Do you want to do all of them in one motion, or do you want to do them separate? Doesn't matter to me.
Let's do them separate.
Okay?
I've got,
So-
just to let you know, I got Bill Brown on
Yeah.
if you want.
I don't want to talk to Bill. Bill can hear me though, can he?
Yep.
So, on that first one, need a motion.
I'd make the motion. Second.
Motion made, seconded to sign the guarantee certification. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The next one is the project certificate to the village of the state municipal, yada, yada. For the construction of the Public Works building, and it's gonna be all authorized by just myself is needed for that signature, so everybody's had a chance to look at that on the email.
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion on that one.
I motion.
Second.
Motion made second for me to sign that paper. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Is that on that part? There's this one
And
more.
the grantee questionnaire is the next thing.
Is that what this is?
No,
No, what is this one?
that's for the next thing.
Oh, okay.
The grantee questionnaire, and that was the one that they were gonna email you
Right.
for you to
And then
do
we're,
on.
and then we're
Yeah.
gonna distribute that after I get it.
Yep.
So,
Do you need a motion for that?
yes.
I make that motion.
Second.
Motion made seconded to do say it again, it's the questionnaire part of the guarantee?
Yep. Grantee questionnaire
That's what it is.
for the construction,
Yep.
so.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. That was it on that
Yep.
portion of it? Okay, I'm done on that portion. Let's go to the,
Unless Bill had something else.
did Bill have anything while he's on the line?
I have him muted. Let's ask him.
Can you hear us, Bill?
I'm live, maybe.
Yes, there you are. Do you have anything more to add to what we just talked about?
No, it's just the standard DASNY paperwork. It's good that it's coming through. It'll still take a long time for the process, but the sooner we can get it back to them, the sooner it's on their side of the ledger.
Yep, okay. While I got you on here, anything more from the permits and the papers that we sent into DEC, the ones we had to redo the paperwork on? That all,
Or
go ahead.
which one?
The ones, remember we had the 2-page and we had to go to the 4-page application?
Yeah. They're all submitted. I haven't heard anything back from DEC on the status of the permit.
Okay.
But I did talk to Butch, and we're actually looking at another alternative to run the pipe there, where we would need to run down over the bank.
Okay.
Maybe able to tie into the existing catch basin at the corner of East Street and Shepherd Ave,
Right.
versus running down over the bank. So we're looking at that.
Okay,
But the permit, if we do need to go over the bank, we have the permit applications in.
okay, okay, good. Anybody got questions for Bill while he's on the air with us?
No.
Nothing about anything?
No.
I guess that's it. Actually not, because I just remembered one other thing. The stuff we're doing over at the treatment plant with the, for the mercury, I saw parts of the email there, I just looked at it quick. That's
Yep.
that's all in the process, and the state DEC is okay with what we're doing right now?
The Ed Farron Koff from our Albany office came down and put the report together.
Right,
I think we do want to try to sit down with you and probably Steve Dutcher and the guys at the plant in Austin. Because what that plan says is that we're going to send out, questionnaires and letters to the different industrial users, mainly craft, but also the waste that we get from the county, the leachate.
Right.
And we have to reach out to dentists and the hospital and different medical facilities that have the potential to have mercury in their wastewater.
Right.
So we have to basically go to the different sites and have them say that, we don't discharge mercury and to do periodic sampling and
Right.
stuff like that. So there's the report is kind of the first part of it, but there's an implementation that needs to, happen, starting now, and then, it's every couple of years you have to update the plan and put some, things in a binder. So when DEC comes and does their inspection, you have the paperwork that can show we went to the hospital, they don't dump anything down the drain that they shouldn't. We check the waste that comes from the county that doesn't have any mercury in it, stuff like that. So,
Now, dentist office, they should have separators, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's I'm not sure what dentists do that potentially has mercury in it, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
So they have to make sure they don't dump it down the drain.
Right.
What they have, so separate. But I think there are provisions for them to use non-mercury related items. I'm just not enough of a dentist expert to tell you what they are.
And you're gonna have to brush up a little bit, I guess.
There was, the old style
Oh.
fillings were amalgam, they
there
had
you go.
mercury in it.
Yeah.
See what you did there?
Yes, I need to brush up.
Now, in the report you sent to us, is that, you gotta submit it or you gotta get all the answers first?
What's that?
Would-
The,
What you sent us, the program, is that you're gonna send that in the way it is, or you have to wait till you get an answer back from everybody?
We sent it in, we sent it in today, as is, and Kevin O'Connor came back with a couple of minor comments, just, confirming the testing protocols that we had put in there. So really now it's just a function of, confirming who's gonna go meet with the industries and who's gonna test what and that kind of thing.
okay, and we'll sit down and figure that out, the few of us here and with you and wastewater and code.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sometime in the next week or so, if we can get people together, that'd probably be a good start.
Okay, sounds good. Any other questions for him?
Was Kevin happy with the result?
So far, he-
So far, yeah, he said, he had just a couple of minor things, I don't remember what they were offhand, it was nothing
Right.
earth-shattering, but just a couple small things that had to be taken care of, so,
He said, looks good.
yep,
Okay.
That's when the plan's good.
That was his response.
okay,
So yeah, we just gotta look at the sampling, and if we're gonna require the people that are bringing the waste in to pay for the sampling, or if it's something we're paying for out of the wastewater budget, what's the cost to do sampling? That kind of stuff is the other part of it, so there's costs involved.
okay. All right, any other questions for him?
Nope.
All right, thanks,
Thanks,
Bill,
Bill.
appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody, have a good
Yep,
night.
you too.
Good night, Bill.
All right, now we'll go on to the consolidated claim and the Purdue Farmer?
Yep.
Falma? Jody, you got the stuff on that too, don't you?
Yeah.
Just so you can
the-
consolidate it down, give us the Reader's Digest version.
I sent, every time we get a bankruptcy, I send it over to Attorney Merzig, and he recommended, maybe the village jumping on this bankruptcy. He says there could be money out there from the opioid epidemic, and how it's impacted our municipality. So, he suggested that if you guys wanted to jump in on this, to make a motion, and he would send in the paperwork to get that started. He also was gonna reach out to Delaware County to make sure that they weren't trying to do the same thing. Cause if they jumped in, then we wouldn't, we'd kind of piggyback off of them, but, today
So
I
it's a class
haven't,
action thing?
kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've read through that a couple of times and I didn't understand it, but
Well, the only question I have on it is, I assume when you put your application in, you have to have a list of what charges what it actually cost you. That's what's playing. We got any record of anything?
Well, see, this is just the first step, I think, is to get, the first part in by July 30th, and then we can work on the second part.
So is that something we could bill, or will that not can bills too?
Well, and that, and, police calls,
A lot of
You
police
know?
calls that goes out for any of the,
Those
Well,
are
yeah.
expensive.
yeah. So I think, personally, I mean, I think if we can get something off of this class act that's gonna help us recoup some of our costs or even help somewhere along with
I mean, if
anything we're doing.
I don't see a problem if we send it in and they decide that, we don't have anything.
Any claim.
They'll kick it back.
They'll kick it back, but I think we should try. But it's up to you folks, what you think you wanna do.
The attorney recommended?
Yes.
So we
Emergency,
would,
yes.
we would need a motion to.
Yep.
So let him go ahead and file the paperwork so that we can jump onto this.
Anybody opposed? I mean, I wouldn't even make the motion if somebody was opposed.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion made, seconded for Merzick to go ahead and file the paperwork on this class act. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Yeah, thank you. It is getting a little warm in here. Sidewalk policy. Do we have anything that we can discuss yet, or are you guys still rough drafting it?
Well, we got an email back from the attorney on questions that I had about, who would be, not have the money for repairs to do themselves.
Yep.
So I think there's a little more work to do there, honestly.
Okay. I don't know, do you see the note from Merzick on that too, that
Yep.
that's, it's not, you can't discriminate on age, it's,
Right. Well, yeah, based on the implications of the law.
Right.
So we could pass a better law that.
yeah. But there again, I'm always saying too, is just even like our water bills and stuff, it's, you have to pay for your services. So, I mean, it's hard not to say that you can't pay for your services and you make your neighbors pay for it. I mean, that's not how it works.
Right. Yeah, well, I think there's,
You know, if you guys have got more things to look at, to hash out, then you can hash it out, and then, once we get something where we're gonna get closer to a real good rough draft, then we'll discuss it more. But if you got more things to research on, then we'll carry on with that.
all the bones are good there.
Yep.
In what we drafted with Bush and
Okay.
code enforcement. Just want to
Okay.
be sure we're all moving ahead towards something that
Yep.
is good for our community.
Right, okay. Good deal. All right, now we're to time sheets and time clock policy. We have a template of a policy,
yeah, I sent it to everybody, I
Yeah.
believe.
and we've had a few notes scribbled onto it as things differently. Why don't you go ahead and read the notes, Sarah?
It was suggested that we make sure that it's clear in here that time off is pre-approved and not something that is done, last minute. So I just got to reword the last paragraph.
Unless,
We need to make sure that supervisors know that if somebody is not going to be here today, you just don't leave a piece of paper stuck in an envelope and hope somebody saw it. You have to clearly let your supervisor know
Sure.
that you're not going to be here at such and such a time, a day or whatever.
unless they call in with an emergency days,
That's
emergency.
entirely
Right,
different.
Right.
But if you are planning a day off, let your supervisor know. Because otherwise, when you come into work, you're considered, what happened? Why come you didn't show up?
AWOL?
Yeah, AWOL. So that's one thing that needs to be clarified in this.
Yep.
The things
Did
that you
anybody
guys,
else have any suggestions or changes or?
I just wanted to clarify that's for all village departments, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
everybody.
good.
And I
It'll
did
be-
run it by Butchie,
Yep.
and that is basically what they're doing over there anyway,
Yeah.
so.
Same thing, it'll be
Pretty
posted.
standard in the entire
Yeah.
actual world.
Yeah, it's gonna be posted, once we approve what we wanna do with these changes coming up.
Yep.
Once we get it approved, it'll hang up,
No.
everywhere, it'll be everywhere, and
No
up to
call,
the,
no shows, usually mean no job.
yeah, up to the pool, and then up over to the DPW, here and bulletin board. So it'll be pretty much a policy in place.
Yep.
So we'll work on that one. All right. We have, next is the pool weekend supervisors we're changing. Nate just gave us a report here on things. Joel Reinhardt's going to be jumping up to $12.20 an hour. He's going to be taking over doing more of the weekend supervisor's position. Jordan Condon is reduced her role just some. She's in college right now. So let's do that portion first. So to bump him up to a supervisor's pay, I need a motion.
I'd make a motion to bump him up to $12.20 an hour, supervisor's pay.
Second.
Motion made, seconded to bump up Joel Reinhardt. All in favor?
Aye.
And
Opposed?
is that effective for this, for this weekend, or?
It's effective immediately, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll start this weekend. It's a weekend supervisory position.
Okay. The next thing you've got on here is just information type stuff, I believe, right, Nate?
Yeah, it's just, it's not stuff that we need to vote on. The hours of operation are gonna change from from opening at 11 a.m. to opening at 1. Lifeguards are getting a little burnt out being out there in the sun in like the hottest part of the day, so we're gonna go back to opening at 1. We're gonna up the pool capacity. We've been doing very well. We've had no COVID issues.
And everybody seems to be talking with Brian, other people, everybody being in compliance with
Yeah.
not bringing food in, not worrying about how many, I want extra people to come in, so everybody's been actually,
We've been doing
Doing
very
well.
well. We've been at capacity, so we're going to take the capacity from 50 in the main pool up to 65 people in the main pool, and from 20 in the kiddie pool to 35.
And
Okay.
we're still under or at the New York State guidelines,
Yes,
correct?
we're within the guidelines.
okay.
Just so everybody knows that.
All right, these next two items you got on here, we need
Are
to...
these executive, the next ones?
Nope.
Or-
Nope, we just need to pass them, that's all.
Okay.
The first one is Stacy Stevens. She's requesting to do her adult aerobics from 5 to 6. There isn't a thing on here, but I know she already has her proof of insurance and stuff. She was charging for that. She's still doing charging?
I believe she's charging them.
Okay, so I
I don't
imagine
know what the fee is.
there'll be more information out there for the fee. So, she wants to be able to do that for aerobics from 5 to 6 nights, a few nights a week. She'll be getting a list out, I'm assuming, on that, but we need permission for her to do this, and she has done this in the past, and like, again, she is insured. So I'd like a motion on that.
I'd make a motion to let Stacy do the old.
Motion made second to let Stacy Stevens do her water aerobics. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The next is Merrick McDonald. It's a she, right?
Yep.
Yes. Requesting to use the pool for recertification of lifeguards and possible teach a lifeguarding course with dates and times and stuff to be determined and the cost. It all depends on how many people, and I know that there's lifeguards at our pool that need to be recertified. Now, that is no cost to us. That is something the lifeguards pay for because it's their certification to take wherever they want to do what they want with. So all she's looking for is just permission to use the pool. I believe there, again, she is also a insured person.
Yeah.
So we need to have permission from that. I made a motion.
So, second.
Motion made second to let Merrick McDonald do the recertification, and then again, all the times and dates and costs will be forthcoming once they figure out how many people are going to be showing up and stuff. So, anything else on the pool stuff while we're on that?
Do we carry
remind
the
me-
motion?
Oh, sorry.
What?
Did I carry?
You gotta take a vote.
I didn't. Okay, we didn't vote on it? I'm sorry. All right. You second?
I
And you
second.
did it?
Yep.
Okay, motion made, seconded to let Merrick McDonald go ahead and do this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now, was there something
Just to
else?
remind people to come down and make use of the events at the park. that happen Monday through Thursday from 9 to 12. You don't need to sign up. All you have to do is show up. Just come on down and take part. We've had 20 people-ish a day for arts and crafts. We've had like 10 for field hockey and a dozen for basketball. Now the basketball is not full contact basketball. They'll teach you how to dribble up and down and take shots. It's kind of socially distanced basketball, but it's still fun. So come down to the park, 9 to 12, Monday through Thursday. Bring your kids and have a good time.
Very good.
You're going to put that on the village Facebook page. Okay.
Next we have is Fancher Avenue parking. I'll let Steve kind of lead on that one. He's gotten a letter on that, right? Or was it just a person face-to-face?
Oh, no, Ruth
Hauk?
Loka Hauk sent me a note saying that the cemetery board was seriously considering sending a letter to the village board addressing the concerns of Fancher Avenue not being a one side of the street only parking situation. Apparently, most of the streets in the village have signs saying this side of the street only parking, because all our streets are narrow and they're two-way. So not to inconvenience people, we leave them two-way, we leave them narrow, and people just have to use their heads. So what's happening on Fancher Avenue, I'm not sure. The question was, when funerals come through, it can be a problem, or when, not tractor trailers, but trucks making deliveries have to go the Fancher Avenue way because the trucks don't clear the pillars on, what's the other street?
South Street. South Street.
Yes. So that was just a concern that was brought up, and she put it forward to me to bring to the board, and I was remiss. I had that information at the last board meeting, and I didn't mention it one bit, so here I emailed everybody the note that she sent me. It's a code issue. The streets who have one side of the street parking only are listed in the village code. There would have to be a code adjustment. We would have to discuss it. It would have to be talked about. I don't know if a referendum has to happen to change the code.
It would be a local law.
It would be.
'Cause you gotta-
So it's a big deal. So I can shoot back a note saying that, you know, it's in our purview to discuss it. It's being discussed, whatever. But I mean, at this point, I don't think anyone's taken any action on that until we hear further from them, I guess. I mean, she spelled it all out in her note. Did anyone read it?
Yeah.
But that requires a public hearing. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
To do a local law.
Local law, you have
yes.
to have a public hearing.
So I could relay that information back to Ruth.
And see if, they'd probably have to get most of the residents and say one or the other. One person.
Who requests the hearing, us or they?
We would have to.
If we're gonna change local law, then we have to do a public
public
hearing.
Okay.
So,
I don't really know how else to proceed other than to discuss
I imagine
it.
you would probably, we would have to have discussion with people that live over there that
Absolutely.
parking on both sides of the street. I know a lot of people like parking in front of their houses.
And right now, with us not being able to hold a proper
Yeah.
public hearing, that would be kind of
Yeah.
difficult too. So,
So I think we can safely say any action would be tabled until,
Until we can get to where we can have a proper public hearing.
right,
So,
thank
but
you.
we are aware of it. I think it give us time also to look at it, see what everybody feels about it, and maybe if you know anybody over there, ask them what their feelings are. Just kind of feel it out a little bit.
I know several people who live on that street.
There you go.
Very important to get their opinion.
Yep. Okay. I don't think we have anything else according to this, other than we have to go into executive to discuss some personnel issues. Do
did
you
you
have
want to
anything?
talk about the tax penalty, or were you all set?
Yeah, we could. Everyone got my email?
Yes,
Okay. Well, as you know, I was forwarded this information about a tax penalty that was assessed to a homeowner, Franz Zubik. He's paid his taxes through Sydney Federal Credit Union online pay.
Yep.
He has record showing that This check was submitted from the bank, and I guess they have some further records to show that it was submitted, but he did in fact get a late payment fee. So
That comes back to the point of the,
All goes by postmark.
It goes by
date.
postmark, and it wasn't postmarked.
That's not our choice. That's, the law says that you have to use that postmark. If it goes through the regular mail, it's whatever date the post office puts on it.
And that's, what's
That's according to New York real property
real
tax
property
law,
tax law.
section 925.
And so it wasn't postmarked at all. That's my understanding, right? There wasn't a postmark on it.
I don't know, was there postmark?
Right, some of the checks that come from the post office doesn't postmark them. They do that barcode thing on the bottom. And we can't read the barcode. And according to the law, if it gets here after the date due, even with that barcode, it is considered late.
It pretty much, if it's illegible, if you can't read it, it's whenever it winds up in the mailbox here, when the day you receive it. And it's, when you email the stuff out, you should have it on your computer somewhere. It explains all the different steps in it. And it's either the postmark, which has got to be legible, if it's smeared, illegible, or whatever. It has to be the day it actually shows up in our office. And that's not a matter of, we get to decide. That's real property tax law.
Yes. And it's evidently
Yeah,
because
it's unfortunate.
there's been this issue before, in order for them to write up a law like this.
I mean, I do have the information where they said that this was actually approved by them. And they requested delivery by 6:30, which would have been on time. But
Right.
obviously it didn't happen for whatever reason. It didn't get here until then. It wasn't postmarked.
Did that happen to any other?
It happens all the time, even with water and sewer bills. A lot of people don't understand when they're submitting those. I think a lot of people assume that it's electronic. I don't think they actually know that the bank
Cuts a check and mails
is a
it.
physical check that they put in the mail to us. I think a lot of people assume that the money's just gonna come over
Transfer over.
electronically.
It's
and
like
it doesn't
doing,
do that.
it's like when, like I tell people, like when I do bill pay through Wayne Bank, it'll give you a date of when it electronically is done and they have the money. Where a lot of these places with their escrows and whatever, they will actually write a check. And they may be able to send it out at the proper time, but then you're at the mercy of the postal service. If they don't stamp it or if they don't deliver it on time, then it's, well, even according to the law, it's late to us. I mean, sounds harsh, but
Sounds stupid.
that's the way it is.
It's New York state law.
They said, 20
Yeah,
years
that-
paying your taxes that way.
It's gotta be
never
a way
late,
around that.
you know?
Yep,
We don't work, you can't work around the state law.
yep.
Well, appreciate the background
Yep.
information there.
But I
So,
think Jody sent stuff, you should have it in your email.
Yeah, I do have the law. I did.
yep.
So,
Any other questions on that?
anything further there?
And you'll convey back to,
Yep.
okay. All right then, if there's nothing else right now, I would like for us to go to executive and we will discuss a personnel stuff and a contract.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Motion made second, go to executive session, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.